What's up guys, welcome back, it's Maverick here today with another episode of Vivy. So, as the season 1 anime start coming to an end, I'll have more and more time in my schedule to do more and more of these Vivy episodes, right? Obviously, the main series has already ended. I'm actually not sure if there's season 2 or 1. I don't want to get spoiled by looking up any information in regards to Vivy, so I'm putting that aside for now. In any case, I will want to, in the next couple or so weeks, finish up Vivy, right? Just so we can get this done with. And besides, I still need to make my decision, like what exactly is the best anime of this season here. But anyways, putting all that aside, episodes 1 and 2 definitely a great introduction to the series. I'm hooked, at least. I love the premise, I love the characters, I love the mystery that is being put into it, and then of course the big sort of twist at the end of the second episode there, where it's really not just all sunshine and flowers. You get into very, very harsh realities of, even though you know what's going to happen, but you're powerless to stop it, right? So I do think that this sort of moral struggle is going to continue throughout the series. In any case, let's take a look at what episode 3 has to offer and what exactly is going to be the norm for the series going forwards. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Alright. Okay. What's with that? Oh. I'm guessing those are 2 different timelines? If I had to venture a guess here. Ooh. Hey! Are we actually getting some music in our supposed music anime here? I do believe so. And how did she get so many fans looking at her so quickly? Or is this an alternate timeline? Or maybe this is just the opening, right? But I believe the person who's saying this is not actually Vivy Seiyu, right? I like the usage of brass instruments in this song. Gives it more of a jazzy kind of vibe. So they're actually... Hmm? I do wonder, in the previous scene, we actually saw some other AI in the crowd as well. I wonder if you know, obviously they wouldn't center in on that without any significant meaning behind it, right? So I do wonder if they are trying to say that she can even affect AI as well, right? And, you know, like strike a chord within them, actually give them a heart, give them emotions as well. Oh, wait, what? Was she memory wiped or something? Oh no. 15 years? What? Ha! 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 Nice. Bye bye. And then that was it. Wow, talk about time skip, right? Ah, singularity point. Okay. I guess they are going with the more sort of Steins Gate kind of approach here. So stuff that they do. Oh. Is this from the future, or is this... So probably that spaceship or whatnot. It's like on a collision course with Earth or something of that sort. Yeah, so right now she's... Right, that makes sense, right? Space. I love how they went with that dun dun dun. uh, some callback to 2001 Space Odyssey. Ooh, nice. Oh, so is the entire space hotel gonna crash into Earth or something? Those are all AI, I presume. Like, it wouldn't really make... Yep. It really wouldn't make sense to use actual humans to do that when you can have these advanced AI now. Oh, so she's disguising herself as... minor, major. Nah, you're in it. I feel like I recognize this voice. Tanaka? No. I recognize this girl's voice. I can't pinpoint it right now though. Wait, Maya-san? It's like Sakamoto Maya? Hmm? The owner? Right. I think that much was obvious from the opening. Hmm. Take her out! Okay, she's called Estella. They can be the owner of hotels? is that voice? No, it's not second. Sorry, I'm just being so. It's just that she has a very recognizable voice, but I just can't figure it out right. All right, maybe I should concentrate on the story. Like. I still find it quite interesting. So the rights of AI have already increased to a point where, you know, they can have their own personal belongings or heck, even own properties and whatnot. I mean, 15 years have passed. I mean, I guess the law that they said, you know, which replaced the naming laws, looking at the kanji, I think it was the AI rights law. So potentially, you could be saying that that AI are equal to humans at this point, right? In terms of their rights and how people treat them. Mhm. What the actual? You know, I feel like the funny thing here is I feel like Matsumoto, if he really wanted to force his hand, he could. Well, no shit. I think you would be hard pressed to find someone who wouldn't want to go up to space, to experience space. Hmm. I have to say that does seem a little bit creepy, though. Like, I feel, even in the future, like, if they are going to be doing something like this, the hospitality can't be too perfect. They can't be too in sync with each other. That would definitely give people the creeps. Estella. Oh, he cuts a Yoko? Really? Okay. Wow, and just as I was complaining in the last episode about songs, we get two in an episode. I'm guessing she probably did do it, but for reasons that, yeah. I mean, it is a fact, right? Fact is fact, but. Wait, who are you? Ooh. Damn. We actually have. Okay. Okay. This is the. Alright, anyways. See you guys after this. Wow, guys, so much to unpack in this episode, and apparently we are going to have to wait until the next one to see its conclusion here, right? So I do wonder if it's going to be, like, paired, like 2 episodes to a specific incident or scenario here. But, more on that later. Let's go all the way back to the very beginning here, right? Because just in that itself, so much that we can comment on here. So, first of all, Matsumoto wasn't kidding when he said this is a 100-year kind of thing, right? So to be just so should just completely disappear after everything that happened in episode 2 and say, okay, 15 years have passed. Well, I mean, I guess, you know, to AI, right? To AI, 15 years doesn't really mean anything, right? To them, you know, how does a day different from a year or whatnot? At least at this point in time, I don't believe the AIs have this concept of feeling tired or you know, mental fatigue or that kind of stuff yet. I don't know, right? I assume that at this point in time, AI are still trying to explore this, you know, explore their emotions and whatnot, and gradually gain them. But you know, already we can see lots and lots of different stuff here. So, you know, 15 years have passed. If we divide that with the episodes, right? I mean, I can totally see this being a case where, you know, Matsumoto's gonna disappear for the next 10, 15 years or so, and then come back for another incident or something of that sort, right? That seems very, very likely or possible, especially since, you know, it's like I mentioned at the end of the last episode, one thing that I always have a bit of a problem with in terms of time travel series is how, technically, if you change a little thing, you're supposed to, you know, change everything as well. It's not going to directly go on a certain line, right? Just the fact that Matsumoto appeared back in the past, that itself is already enough to completely change everything. But apparently they are going for the more sort of Steins Gate approach here, whereas that, you know, they mentioned singularity points, right? So what they're saying here, I'm assuming, is basically that, you know, time continues on, but at specific points in the timeline, you know, there are specific events that will happen regardless, and they are supposed to choose branching paths based on that to you know, get to the next point or something of that sort, right? So, you know, does it make sense? Honestly, not really, but if that's how they're going to go with it, then fine. Let's just assume it this way, right? So, you know, at this point in time, we can say that anything Vivy does, even though it does kind of affect the future, she's still going to have to go through all those events until the end of it, right? So let's establish that one first. The next thing here, obviously, is actually some, you know, I definitely have a little bit of a question mark within me as well in terms of this mission that Vivy has supposedly been handed, right, from Matsumoto. You do have to wonder, though, like, is Matsumoto actually telling the entire truth here? Because, you know, well, I say this because I am kind of wondering, like, what if, right? What if this is actually a situation where Matsumoto is working on the side of AIs rather on the side of humans, right? And instead accelerating things towards the future where AI take over the world or something of that sort. You know, you definitely have to keep that in mind, right? Especially since, you know, there's still so many unknowns in regards to this, and you have to deal with time travel, so it's always unclear. Now, you could argue that, hey, after the events of the last 2 episodes, you know, it actually accelerated the process of AI gaining rights, of AI evolution, of AI gaining more and more stuff and whatnot. But as Matsumoto said, you know, the result of this, right, is because of Vivy's actions, right? If she just simply did what she was told and didn't do anything else, perhaps we wouldn't be in this kind of situation at this point, right? So, you know, it's still unclear that, but at the moment in time, I'm still keeping my eye on Matsumoto. I don't think that it's going to be as straightforward as he's saying, and especially since, you know, we already see that this is definitely a series full of plot twists and so on and so forth. So, you know, I'm keeping an eye on you, little teddy bear. So yeah. So beyond that, obviously, we have this situation in space and so on and so forth. So talking a little bit about this as well, you know, we can clearly see within these 15 years, AI has changed drastically, right? They have their own rights now. Judging from this episode, they can also own property. They can make their own autonomous decisions and so on and so forth. So, you know, this is really not a case where they're just subservient to humans anymore, right? They have their own rights and so on and so forth. And looking at the opening scene where Vivy was singing and all that to the crowd, you could clearly see other AI within it as well, listening to her song, but they don't seem to be like, you know, caretaking for someone else or you know, serving someone else, right? They seem to be also autonomous AI, just being there and choosing to hear her sing out of their own volition, right? So, you know, that accomplishes two things, right? One is that we can clearly see the rights of AI and how they are, in a lot of ways, just basically equal to humans in a lot of regards already. And then secondly, that Vivy's voice actually does kind of affect them as well, right? Because if we're going from a purely utilitarian kind of perspective, there's no reason for AI to listen to this, right? This is for pure entertainment, and it's singing is something that affects people on a more emotional level, right? So unless these AI can feel these emotions, they can feel something from this, they can recognize, oh, this is beautiful, this is beauty, this is a great singing voice, it touches the heart, and so on and so forth. All the kind of vague and more human kind of emotions and touch that we're accustomed to. Otherwise, there's no real reason for them to be there and listen to Vivy singing, right? So that, I do think, is another important hint and important part of all this to keep in mind, right? And so that brings us to the meat of this particular arc, right? The context of this arc, where Estella, why in the end did she basically put Sunrise Hotel on a collision course with Earth, right? Well, if she is going to be able to be motivated by other emotions rather than just her mission and whatnot, right? Feelings of regret, feelings of doubt, feelings of remorse, and all that. And I mean, at this point in time, I can't really say. All I can think of is that at the very end there, it seemed that she wanted to do something in the spirits of the original owner's wishes, right? Unless, we pull another plot twist and she actually wants to exact revenge or something of that sort. Like, I don't know. So we'll have to see about that. But definitely to do something like this, right? To veer from the original course, to veer from her original mission. Originally, I was talking about, okay, we've seen other stories and in other media, like movies or books and novels and whatnot, where one explanation as to how AI would have an uprising and try to overthrow humans, right? There's one where they eventually think, hey, we're better than you guys, so we should take over the Earth, right? That's one kind of interpretation here. Another kind of interpretation is that, okay, we're only doing this because we need to protect you, because if humans left unchecked, they're going to destroy themselves. That was a pretty clever play on Isaac Asimov's three laws of robots, right? First law, never harm a human. So they kind of interpreted into, okay, in order to protect humanity, we need to kill off some humans and basically make them like pets of a sort, right? That was a very clever interpretation of that kind of rule. So that's also another take on this. Now, the third take here, of course, and what I think Vivy is trying to do here is that they're trying to show that as AI evolve more and more and they get human emotions, right? That is when they will start to go off roads and they will start to do things in related to human emotions, right? So that includes stuff like greed, right? Or jealousy, envy, those kind of things, or revenge, anger, all those kinds of things. And that is what is going to motivate these AIs to do various different actions going forward, right? Indeed, at least here in this episode right here in this particular arc, I do believe we are seeing that AI are starting to get these kinds of emotions put into them already, right? Otherwise they wouldn't, like, Estella would have no reason to do this, unless of course at the very end she is still trying to complete her mission or something of that sort. But then again, that doesn't really make sense, right? Why would, if her entire mission was to caretake for this hotel or whatnot, like, why would she willingly want to smash it into Earth or something of that sort, yeah, basically, all that kind of stuff. So I think, just guessing right at this point, I think this particular arc is going to serve an important purpose, and that is to allow us to see that AIs do have, these kind of internal emotions already that is overriding whatever mission they were originally given. They are starting to act more for themselves, right? The concept of ego, right? Of self. And whatnot. So, yeah, that's my best guess as to what is going to happen now. Now, obviously, Vivy, she, even though she's still kind of on the fence about stopping Estella and whatnot, or anything that's going to happen at the very end, now that we see Momoka's younger sister is here in All Grown Up as well, I feel like Vivy will definitely try to protect her with her life, with all her might, and so on and so forth. She's definitely not going to want to have another situation with Momoka, and so on and so forth. So yeah, there we go. That's it for this episode. And like I said, I will be pushing more of these episodes out in the following weeks and whatnot as the various other series start ending. So I will try to obviously get this done before the next season starts and whatnot. But anyways, thank you guys, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.